Hey, what's going on, traders? It's Johnny here at Trader X. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel today. I hope you guys all had an amazing Friday today and all ended green. And as usual, I want to go ahead and share with you guys how my day trading did go today, and my thoughts on the NASDAQ overall. So to get right into it, you guys can pretty much see I was red today, right, to end the week. So I was down about $70 today. I lost $88 on ticker symbol SQQQ, right, which is the inverse ETF of the NASDAQ, and I was up about $18 on TQQQ, right? And so these are all my field orders. You guys can see the timestamps that I was trading, right? The quantity I was trading with, the ETF itself here in the middle, and the price points here on the right. And what you guys will notice is I ultimately did end my account, right? It was green on the day because of Tesla. My swing position, I have 2 open shares. And as you guys know, right, Tesla climbed today because of the NASDAQ pushing up as well, right? So I was up $88 on that gratefully, and so I did want to get right into today's recap. What you guys will notice, right, is we're looking at the Nasdaq on the 1 day, 1 minute time frame. So this is pretty much how it ultimately ended up performing today. And where I think I went wrong today was I really struggled, obviously, in terms of the direction, and I really ultimately felt like the Nasdaq was still very overbought, right? And what you guys will notice is the past 5 day, 5 minute chart, right? The Nasdaq peaked out, right? So it was already very overextended, and as this thing started to sell off, right, and enter into, heading into this morning, this thing started to, approach the top VWAP, and I thought that we were gonna form some form of head and shoulder pattern, right? Where it was gonna find some form of resistance around these areas before it ultimately pulled on back. And that's obviously not what ended up happening. We actually saw lots of volume, right? And it caused the Nasdaq to actually make highs, right? Compared to where it got rejected to yesterday. And if you guys, take a closer look, what you guys will notice is that today was very volatile, right? Like the first hour of the market. So right at market open, we actually saw the Nasdaq pull back very aggressively, right? And then this thing ended up bouncing, right? Finding a support, and then it pushed very aggressively, very quickly back up to the top VWAP. And after this thing got rejected, right, very aggressively. So you guys were saying, or what you guys would see is that there were lots of movement that happened very fast from the top VWAP and middle VWAP, right? And as we know something, if it's trading between the top VWAP and middle VWAP, it's indicating signs of an uptrend, right? It's making these higher highs and higher lows. And so ultimately where I went wrong was instead of trying to get into TQQQ right after it had these, aggressive pullbacks, what I ended up doing was trying to predict when this thing was going to continue to sell off, right? And ultimately, because of how fast it sold off and got rejected near the top VWAP, it really made me think that we were peaking out and we're going to start to form lower highs and lower lows, right? But every single time it broke below the middle VWAP and I got into SQQQ, it actually ended up bouncing. And so it may have been okay, the first one, maybe two times at most to get burned on SQQQ. But what I should have noticed is as this thing continued to fall right to middle VWAP, it would bounce. It did a great job of bouncing. So although it didn't do a good job of holding right up here, it did a great job of finding a support down here. So I could have ultimately, I should have paid more attention to TQQQ given that, the first one, two, three, 4 times when it tried to break below middle VWAP, it struggled and it didn't hold for a very long period of time right before it corrected itself. So if I just focused on TQQQ, especially after seeing it was finding a huge support on the middle VWAP, I could have, for example, just on this one trade alone, gotten into TQQQ, averaged up at break above EMA, and sold out where it made sense, right? Approaching top VWAP. That itself is, over a 1% move, which is, although 1% doesn't sound like much if you're trading with a larger dollar amount, right? It can start to add up, especially if you're consistently hitting 1%. And so that's why I see so much value in trading these ETFs, although they don't move as much as momentum stocks do, right? That can move up 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200%. Those come at a greater form of risk because if you're into any of those, there's a huge chance, you can ride a pullback down and ultimately lose a lot of money. Something like these ETFs I trade, they're more conservative, right? They're not as aggressive. They don't move as fast. And so these types of movements aren't like detrimental, right? And especially if you're trading with a larger dollar amount, these 1 and 2% moves can be all you need to really, make a killing in the stock market. So This week I'm ending red, right? I was down about 160, probably 170 on the week. And so it is, the second or third week in a row that I am red. So I definitely am going to take a step back and, try to see why I haven't been performing the best. But I personally think, or I attribute it to the fact that I've been trying to really predict reversals, trying to predict when something's going to reverse rather than going with the volume and the direction on the day, right? It's a big mistake that I still struggle with every day, but that's why I'm showing up every day trying to improve. And there is one thing I did want to mention to you guys, that I feel helps out a lot in trading. And especially if you guys are just getting started, I would definitely recommend having a source of income, right? Like if you're saving any amount of money and just throwing it into your, stock account every, week, month, or year, it really helps you out and makes you have like a more peace of mind whenever you do experience red days because especially with me, the red days have really been hitting me a lot recently, and it can be very discouraging, right? And make me want to, stop doing this. But at the same time, I do have a job right now, right? Thankfully, and it is a good source of income for me. And it leaves me at a better, ease of mind when I am trading. Because if I take a red trade, for example, before when I didn't have a job and I was trading, it really would affect me that much more, the red trade, right? Because of the fact that I knew like I don't have income coming in and I just took a red trade, right? It hurt that much more. But if you're day trading or swing trading even and you have any source of income, it just really, really makes you feel that much better, especially after you take a red day. It just feels a lot better knowing that, you're recouping your losses through other sources of income and you're just saving up money so that when you do experience these red weeks, you can just go about your day more without it ruining your day, really. But yeah, that's ultimately something I wanted to share with you guys. It obviously makes sense that if you have more money to trade, it's gonna be easier because you have a bigger cushion, and as long as you have that constant, inflow of savings coming into the account, I think it would be very beneficial to your account and to just your mental health when you are trading. But yeah, that's just something. Sorry if I ranted, but that's just a little something I feel like helps me when it comes to trading, just having other forms of income. And I feel like that would definitely help you guys out. But yeah, I just wanted to share, my thoughts on that really quick. As far as where the NASDAQ's headed, we have been obviously running a lot, right? We have been making these higher highs and higher lows and trading above the EMA. And so right now we are approaching a resistance level, right? Where we are going to see if this thing starts to break out and continue to form those higher highs, or if we are going to see a break below the EMA, right? And experience some form of pullback, right? And it wouldn't be like anywhere it wouldn't seem unusual for this thing to pull back because it's not like this thing just constantly pushes up. What you will notice is that this thing, as it makes these higher highs, it also corrects itself a bit, right? It forms a higher high, corrects itself a bit. It forms higher highs and it could correct itself. I don't know if that ultimately will be Monday, Tuesday, or if we even will see one next week. We don't have to, right? Because direction currently is trended up, but it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary if we did experience some form of pullback, right? Especially because of the runs that we've been having. But I just did want to make you guys aware of that because that's ultimately why I haven't added more to my Tesla position. So although this thing did push up almost 5% today, right? I am super grateful for that. I didn't decide to average in yet because like I said, I feel the Nasdaq is due for a bit of a pullback, and it will bring the price of Tesla down with it. And I don't want to take a part of that, right? And then this also is reminding us here that on the 25th, right, Tesla will have a stock split, a 3-to-1 stock split. So I do want to make you guys aware of that, right? We could potentially see some increase in volume with, the price of Tesla breaking into 1/3 of the price, right? So shares are going to be around $300 if it is around this price, right? Come August 25th. But that is everything I wanted to talk about with you guys today. If you guys are new to the channel, please go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. We really do appreciate all of the support we get. And if you guys have any questions at all or want me to break down any stocks, go ahead and drop a comment down below and I will go ahead and make a video on it. But other than that, I hope you guys all enjoy your weekend and ended green. And my brother will be posting on Monday, so we will see you guys then. Take care.